Will you play games until you're dead? You know, when I first heard this question, I thought, are you kidding me? You think death is gonna stop me from playing games? Well, it probably will, which is a shame because just think of all the free time we'd finally have then. One of the stigmas that's been surrounding video games over the years that's been slowly dying off more and more is that video games are only for kids. Most of us just said to heck with that, and what better way to really hammer that point home than by just playing games all the way until we're geezers. For a lot of us, we've been playing games for so long and so intensely that it would just seem kind of weird to stop now. I mean, if you still enjoy doing something, then why not just keep doing it? I mean, it's not like we're gonna run out of games to play. Have you seen what people's backlogs look like? My goodness, and that's just what they look like right now. Some people continually add games to it, so just imagine what it'll look like when they're 90 years old. It could be like a full-blown encyclopedia at that point. When thinking about the senior citizens of today, I think it's important to keep in mind that the most logical explanation for why a lot of them don't play video games is simply because they didn't grow up with them like a lot of us did. I feel like sometimes old people get a bad rap like they're against having fun, and that's not fair. Just take my grandpa for example. He loved pizza right up until the end. And what's more fun than eating pizza? Okay, but still, not very many things. Literally, my grandpa's dying wish in his last moments was pizza. And I'm not kidding, he had a crazy voice like that. And then my other grandfather, you know what his dying wish was? A milkshake. How many things in life are better than drinking a milkshake? Okay, but still, not very many things. So I can just see it now. There I am lying on my deathbed and I say, Rocket Knight Adventures. And then they say, can we wheel in a Sega Genesis for this guy or what? Point is, even when we're older, we're still gonna wanna have fun, and playing video games could very likely still be something that we consider fun to do, just like it is now. And when you're old could be a great time to play games for a whole bunch of different reasons. The kids are all grown up, hopefully you're retired, and you finally got yourself a whole bunch of that sweet free time. Plus, when it comes to playing games all day, you've got a whole bunch of perfect excuses baked right in. Well, I gotta take pills every hour, so why even bother leaving the house? And I can barely frickin' walk. I go outside for 5 minutes and I'm good to go right back inside to play some Castlevania. And I can just see it now, retirement homes for gamers where the bananas flow like water and there's games in every room. Heck, I'd plan on seeing a lot of you there. A place where gamers can finally tackle some of their longtime gaming goals. I imagine longtime viewer of the channel NES Addict being right there next to me and being like, hey everybody, come check it out, he finally beat Battletoads after 75 years of trying. Whoop! There go my teeth again. I see these places as being really fun. We're talking the hot ticket in town. Young whippersnapper kids disguising themselves as old people just to try to get in. And the possibilities are endless. Instead of bingo night, you have Bomberman night. Never thought 10-player Saturn Bomberman was very realistic, huh? Well, why don't we make it 100? That's right, 100 controllers, 10 Sega Saturns, and you're off to the races. I do wonder about how our ability to play some of these games is going to change as we get older. Things like our vision, hand-eye coordination, and motor skills. Am I going to be able to play through a shoot-'em-up game where the screen is covered in bullets and I gotta dodge and weave my way through? I don't know, time will tell. Something that I could definitely see happening is the type of games that we play could change over time. For example, maybe some of you will finally feel forced to try out RPG games, at least the turn-based ones, because you think, hey, I don't really need quick reflexes to be able to play this. You just select your attack and then wait for it to happen. I could imagine some of us just choosing a point in time to stop playing certain games or certain types of games, almost like the way an athlete would retire from a sport. Like, yeah, I used to play Ninja Gaiden, but I had to retire 3 years ago. I really miss it. But even in addition to the concern of our bodies no longer working properly anymore, there's the concern of our games no longer working properly anymore. I mean, you want to talk about a test of durability, are some of these original copies of games still going to be working then? I think that's a very real concern, but lucky for us, there's always going to be different methods, different devices, different ways that we can hopefully play most of these games going forward. Things have really changed a lot just over the last 10 years as far as the options we have for playing video games, so I can only imagine how that will continue to develop over the years to come. I really am convinced that most of us who play games regularly now will continue to do so for the rest of our lives. Will we go through stretches of time where we don't play games at all or as much? Sure, I mean, I haven't played games since last night. Does that impress anybody? But if you look at other different forms of media, such as music or movies, nobody's ever like, yeah, I listened to music for the first 40 years of my life and then never again. Or somebody who watched movies for the first half of their life and then said, you know what, I'm done watching movies. I mean, I suppose that could happen, but the point is, it's more so the exception than the rule. Compared to other forms of media, video games are a very, very new, fresh kind of media, and we are just starting to get cooking with this stuff. So as time goes on, video games will only become more socially accepted, more of a normal thing, and just a part of everyday life that people do. Oh, and by the way, if while we were talking about giving up certain forms of media, some of you were thinking, well, you know, I kind of gave up reading once I was done with school. To you, I would say, did you read the title of this video? Yes, you did. So boom, you're a reader. But with all of that said, it's time for me to hear from all of you. And the question for this one, just as the title says, will you play games until you're dead? And sure, you may not know if you definitely will or won't, but I'm guessing most of you probably have a good idea, and I'd be really curious to hear what your thoughts are about how you think that's going to go. So be sure to leave those comments, and I will see ya in the next video.